Good morning. Hello. Can y'all hear me? Happy Friday. Happy welcome. Happy welcome to Flight Sim 2024. So today, if y'all can hear me, give me a thumbs up or something in chat. Let me know. I'm trying out Meld Studio. So it's an OBS counterpart, right? So it does the same kind of thing. It takes advantage of streaming stuff and it's supposed to be easier. And I want to see if it actually does a better job at overall performance on my system. I highly doubt that will be the case, but we'll see. Did it? Okay, so Will, you're on another stream, yeah. So it must not be. It looks like I can't select the scheduled stream. That's rather interesting. Looks like I can't schedule the actual stream. So let me see if I can adjust things. Let me see what is going on here. 737 Friday lots. And I don't think it's gonna work the way I want it to, but it's worth a shot. Okay, so we have that set, and okay, save it. Okay, so that should update at least that. I was waiting and found you here. Okay. Thanks for reporting. So let me correct the link in Discord, I suppose. Let me see, add it. And plop it in there. Okay. So at least the message in Discord's updated. I'm not sure why the saved one's not working. Yeah, kind of like this. Like it's like a new OBS, I guess you can say. But again, this is a test to see how everything's gonna work with it. Thomas, welcome in. I don't know how things are going to fare out with it. I want to give it a shot. I did find potentially an alternative though if I don't decide to go this route, which is with OBS. With Meld. There is a like cloud-based streaming, and I don't know how that would work though. And I don't know why that would be beneficial because I still think it's got to render on the ground. So yeah, I don't know, but so far it looks decent. Quality looks fine. Is audio cool? Audio's fine, I guess. Will ChartFox work on Xbox or no? ChartFox should work anywhere. It's a browser base, isn't it? You won't be able to see your plane, of course, on it, but it's browser based, I believe. So you should be able to use it wherever. You won't be able to see your actual aircraft on the ground. So I also am trying something audio is reasonable. Okay, cool. I'm also going to try something else, which is so I still can't seem to get my buttons to work with FSFO. I don't know why, and I think they might be working on it. The developer might be working on it, trying to figure out what's going on. But one thing they said to do is to exit out or clear out the saved folder and then launch up the program again, and it will make a new folder. So I did that yesterday, but I also went in and tweaked all the things I like to tweak. So today I'm going to try not tweaking anything other than just dropping in my 2 custom profiles and see if that will help. So maybe there's a conflict when I change one of the settings that might break something with the keystroke stuff. So we're gonna find out live on stream. It's Saturday Night Live, and let's get Flight Sim First Officer rolling. And Will, I saw your message in the chat about the the drivers. It's interesting because NVIDIA broke stuff in with the 50 series, right, when that launched, and now they're breaking things with the 40 series. So of course, why not? All right, so we're gonna get that connected. You're not gonna see overlays like you normally would because I don't have everything set up with Blend. I didn't want to put all the time into it, so I figured I'd just do the basics. Okay, so iFly is pulling my flight. Cool, grand. Start the flight. It's 16, so it's 4 o'clock there. Blimps. We'll do it live. So, yeah, we're gonna do it live. So we're also, for the first time ever, and first time for me ever in the Sims, and I mean Sims over the course of 20 plus years, we're doing a flight in Guam. In Guam. And so it's a pilot's life, chapter 2 flight. Super short hop. It's 112 nautical miles. So the first flight's super short, and the next flight after that is I think like 170 or something like that. So we'll do both of those. Okay, so we look like we have that all rolling up there. Doesn't seem like any of the buttons working either. So okay, it's still broken. So we need to start getting things going because they're getting things going. So we're gonna start over here, and it's cool being at an airport that is not third party because we can also test to see performance that way. And so we're going to turn on the electric, go up here to the top, flip on these switches. Good, grand. Let's get some lights in here. We're also doing a night flight for the change, which is going to be very scary for 2 smaller airports in the middle of nowhere. Let's get our heats on. We're only climbing, wrong direction, wrong one. We're only climbing up to 1,500 feet today, so really, really low. Let me know if the sim sounds are too high or too low as well, because that's something it's hard for me to test. Okay, we have that all going, fantastic. And next step is we need to go over here, menu, performance, and let's throw in our weight and balances. All right, and that we're going to use our briefing panel for. Briefing panel, so we're looking at 142 passengers. Cargo is 62, so math that is about 2650. Let's do 2625. I think 50 will be a little too high. 2625. Beautiful. Fuel on board today is 10,000. And fuel out is going to be 120, right? Probably. Fuel out 120, yep. And then fuel we're expecting to use 2807. 2807. Cool. All right, so 1323 and 1332. That's interesting. So 132, we're off substantially. Okay, so we're just going to try to remember this. 1323. So we're going to reverse the 2 numbers there. Okay, cool. And set fuel, set payload, complete. Beautiful, grand. Let's go on down below here. 31 Celsius here. Yeah, today it's supposed to be, 95 Fahrenheit. We're Americans. We use Fahrenheit. We're idiots. So, yeah. I'm glad I work inside. Our FMC position. Next, let's grab that. Bring it back. Drop it in. Route. Request it. Sounds great here. Okay, cool. And Mexican Aviator, welcome in. I found someone who wants to trade your iFly? Trade my iFly? I ain't trading my iFly for nothing. Alright, let's go in here. And we have that. We're expecting runway 6 left today. And we are United 174? Yeah, 174. United 174. Activate, execute, performance. Alright, so it was going to be 132 and a 3. Reserves are 2. And cruising winds are 237 at 6. temperature is 2. It's a little cold down here. Alright, and then we can go over here to this panel. So we can get rid of this, and we can copy this information over. Go to flaps 5. We have AC on, anti-ice is off. 52 and 21.5. So 52 and 21.5. Bam. Okay, we have that all set. Departures are runway 6 left is good. We don't have any departure SID and no arrival star. Well, that's going to be interesting with BeyondATC, so let's execute that. And there's our crazy little short flight plan. We'll kill out that disco because it should be fine. I also have First Officer set for Smart Flow, so in theory it should just start going through its flows all on its own. How about the FS Labs? Jim, welcome in. Yeah, no. I heard the FS Labs has like malware built into it, or some sort of malware, so no, I'm turned off about that. Plus, I love the Phoenix, 100%. Shouldn't anti-ice be on? It's not that cold yet. Okay, let's get BeyondATC rolling. There it probably is no clearance here, but there's a ground. So 1219. Well, okay, this will be interesting to hear what the voices are like here. Clearance, good morning from United 174, ready for IFR clearance.
United 174, Agana clearance, clear to Francisco C. other side pan. Radar vectors back bay, then as filed. Maintain 4000, expect 15,000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 120.5, squawk 3522.
Alright, let me know if you can hear BeyondATC as well.
Radar vectors back bay, then as filed. Maintain 4000. Expect 15,000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 120.5. Squawk 3522.
Squawk 3522.
United 174.
United 174.
I don't know if to get the FS Labs or wait for the Phoenix, because the A321neo is my favorite plane. Yeah, I would wait at Mexican Aviator. I would wait for the neo personally. I think there's more pressure on Phoenix now. I don't think so.
Have a good evening. Thanks.
I don't think so. Okay. Ground, I guess, right? Ground United 174, ready for pushback and engine start. Alright, so let's get our gens on.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face southwest.
Pushback approved, face southwest, United 174.
Southwest. And we're going to go to system page, disconnect this jazz. Cool, grand. And let's get our pushback going. I wonder if we're going to see a random update today from Asobo with Sim Update 3. Southwest is going to be the other direction, so this way. Alright, and it says pre-flight check. How come it didn't do that? So let's click that button.
Pre-flight checklist. Oxygen. Tested. Navigation, transfer, and display switches. Normal and auto.
Did you
Window
put in turnaround state? No, I didn't.
Pressurization mode
Not in
selector.
turnaround state, nope.
Auto. Flight instruments. Set. Parking brake. On. Fuel control switches. Cutoff.
P2, welcome in.
Departure briefing. It will be a left seat
Long day
takeoff
at work?
from
I hear ya.
Papa Golf Uniform.
I came in
Mike 2.
last minute to
Papa
your
Golf
Discord today.
Sierra,
You were
November.
already taxiing to the
Taxi
gate,
route is
so
for ATC instructions.
I exited out.
We'll be
I figured
departing on runway
you're ending pretty quick.
06 left.
Thomas is flying to
Climbing
Mexico,
via the
alright.
departure procedures to an initial altitude of 15,000 feet. Standard reject
What are you
and
flying in,
emergency
Thomas?
procedures apply. Any questions?
No.
I'm good. Completed. Pre-flight checklist completed.
Alright, pre-flight is good to go. Before start flow. And before start checklists.
Before start checklist.
All aircraft
Flight
be
deck
advised
door.
information Oscar now
Closed and locked.
US Air 1 good day. That voice could be lower a bit. Which
Check.
voice?
Passenger side. On. MCP.
My voice or
Takeoff speed.
the co-pilot?
BR 145. V2 153. Checked. CDU pre-flight. Completed. Rudder and aileron trim. Free and 0. Anti-collision lights. On.
Flying an Xbox.
Before start checklist completed.
Wish I could fly in PC. Yeah, PC is substantially better. What mod is this? This is FSLTL. This is Flight Sim First Officer. Flight Sim First Officer. The co-pilot, please. Okay. Let's see. First Officer volume. Let's lower that down. Okay, got that lowered. And engine start. Request a pushback. Pushback is commencing. Let's go ahead and get engine number 1 rolling. Well, so far, this is a really bad test, but so far, we're like not even breaking 7 VRAM. So, meld for the win. This is the first flight, though. Alright, we're waiting for the motor here to go away. And there it goes. Let's go ahead and bring up that fuel. Can't wait for the alley. Oh, are you getting the handheld one? Are you getting the handheld, like the Steam Deck kind of thing? This is a Guam flight. This is crazy. So PGUM to PGSN.
Engine 2 started.
I've never been. When it comes out, oh, cool. My bass speakers are going up. Alright, engine number 1 is rolling. Gens are going. Engine number 2, or sorry, number 2 is up. Engine number 1's next. This plane, in my opinion, has the best sounds of any aircraft in the sim. Now, it is a personal preference, but man, the sounds are incredible in this plane. Incredible. Alright, they're going to want us to squawk. So we're squawking. Flaps coming down to 5. And one thing with Meld though is it's not showing me the updated chat. For a Boeing, it's not bad.
Engine 1 started.
Engine 1 started.
Engine 1 cut out.
Ground United 174 ready to taxi to the active.
All engines stable.
United 174, runway 6 left taxi via Kilo Alpha.
Kilo Alpha.
Runway 6 left taxi via Kilo Alpha, United 174.
Alright, before taxi flows.
Clear on the right. Clear on the left.
Continuous. Oh, not that one. Way too many. Continuous, all grand. And before taxi,
Before taxi checklist. Generators. On. Croaky. Auto. Isolation valve. Auto. Engine start switches. Continuous. Recall. Checked. Flight control test.
Oh.
Full left. Full right. Neutral. Neutral. Full forward. Full back. Checked. Brake test.
Alright, brake test, bring up some throttle.
Checked. Before taxi checklist completed.
Alright. Barry, welcome in. Taxi lights are on.
From the flight deck, we wanted to welcome you on board and thank you for flying with us this morning. We're anticipating
Now
a
it's
relatively
automatically
smooth
going to turn on
ride with the exception
AP
of a few
because,
bumps
well, I
on
guess
the
I can
way out.
disable that at this
We'll be
point.
airborne soon.
Clearly it's still broken. Let me just test it. Yeah. I don't know what to do at this point. I don't understand why all of a sudden, just one day, it just stopped working. Alex, welcome in. After that one initial day, it just stopped taking any of my key bindings. It's wild. Ground noise is way too high. Ground noise? Oh. Okay, let me lower it down. Okay, is that better? Just had a flight in Horizon Sim 787 and failed the landing. Landed on one gear outside of the runway. Oh no. Is that autopilot? Autopilot? What are we talking about, Thomas? The rolling noise? Oh, in the plane? Yeah, it could be. It can be. They still need to do some adjustments to the sounds coming over from 2020. Because the Sobo did make some adjustments, you know, look at like Phoenix and Boeing and all that jazz. No, it's not. Push talk is still not working. None of my key bindings, like they save in there, but they just don't work. I don't know why. The only other thing I can think of doing next is to completely uninstall, using like Revo uninstaller, the software and see if it gets rid of anything that's saved, and then try it again. Outside of that, I don't know. I just don't. I don't get it. That's my only complaint, honestly, with the software. My only complaint. Which, since things aren't working, I'm gonna go ahead and adjust my stuff here. So autopilot's gonna be not turned on automatically. That's not gonna do it. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to do that. Speed 28. Autopilot, LNAV, VNAV, landing lights are fine. Acceleration flow is fine. Engage that. Nope. After checklist flow, after 5 seconds. Seatbelt signs are gonna be 10,000. Okay. So now it should not automatically do the lights and stuff. Manning, welcome in. Wasm or Moby? I suppose it's possible. I can try doing a flight without Moby flight connected, but I've done flights with it connected. The only thing I've done since I did update the FFCU, the Windwing FCU. I did update the firmware for that, but that should not cause this issue. They're two separately different programs. Tower United 174, holding short, runway 6 left, ready to go. Oh crap, just closed out Navigraph.
Fly runway heading, runway 6 left, cleared for takeoff, United 174.
Alright, clear for takeoff. Alright, takeoff throttles are armed. Alright, on departure.
Approaching runway.
Well, it's not doing my takeoff flows either. What the hell?
Right.
Before takeoff checklist. Flaps.
I have it set so it's automatically supposed to do the flows.
Stabilization trim. Sit. Transponder. Sit. Cabin crew. Cabin crew prepare for takeoff. Notify. Before takeoff checklist completed.
Alright, let's go flying. Throttle's up to 60. Holding the brakes down. On departure, head straight. Fly runway heading, it says, so. Toga set.
Cross that. Checked.
Let's go.
Speed alive. Checked.
Winds are super calm.
80 knots. Checked.
Rotating.
V1. Rotate.
See, it does seem like the V speeds are off for some reason with FSFO.
Gear up.
Not sure why. I'm not having it set from sim brief, so maybe that's why. Alright, 400 feet.
LNAV on. VNAV on.
I know they said runway heading, but this is pretty close.
Center on 120.5, United 174. Have a good one.
Acceleration altitude.
OK
Flaps
Oceanic,
5.
United 174, 1,800.
Alright, bring down the throttle, or sorry, bring down the horizon just a little bit.
After takeoff checklist.
15,000.
Start switches.
Climb, maintain
Off.
5,000 feet.
Tax.
Altimeter
On.
2990,
Auto brakes.
United 174.
Off. Landing gear. Up and off. Flaps. Flaps 1. After takeoff checklist completed.
Okay. Good solid departure. Oh, there's another big airport on the left of us. I don't think you can, well, you can kind of see it on the stream, yeah. Alright, what AP on? Since we're never here in Guam, let's check out Guam. Yeah, so you got an airport there. There's when we departed. That's crazy. There's two... I wonder if it's one of these... Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's military? I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with this area. In 500 feet, the FO needs to trigger it. Yeah, I don't... It's kind of... It's triggering it, but it's not at some points. I don't understand why. Alright, we're clear direct, so that's cool.
Roger, we'll head direct back B, then resume own navigation United 174.
The iFlight is a bit experimental. Yeah, correct. Yeah, it is experimental. So obviously there will be some issues that happen with it. And I don't think, based on what I was reading in Discord from FSFO, I don't think they're currently testing it for 2024. I think they're still testing the 2020 version. It is cool though, because it looks like they throw their radar on at night. I thought that was really cool. That's a neat little feature. So FSFO will throw on the weather radar because it's nighttime. It didn't do this during the day when I've been flying. And I don't know if I've flown with it at night. Okay, so this is a super short hop. We're expecting runway 7 for the arrival, so we need to prepare things pretty much right away. Okay, so on the arrival... David, thanks for the subscription. And runway 7, we have a 109.9 for the ILS. So we're putting that in 1 and 2.
Passing 10,000 feet.
10,000 feet, landing lights are coming off. It should automatically do those, right? Cool beans. And course is 066. Okay. And our minimums are 415. So 415. So I was talking yesterday about how I upgraded to the latest transformer, the latest DLS file, and the FrameGen file yesterday. I did forget to enable the latest preset though. So I do have that set now, and it does look much more crisp using DLSS. This is wild. This kind of looks like, it still has some of the blurriness going on there, but it looks pretty close to TAA now, at least on my system. Pretty darn close. Alright, 415 is set there, and I think we're ready to go at this point. Arrival altitude 2100. So once we get top of cruise, top of climb, we'll put in 3000 for the altitude, because I'm not quite sure what BeyondATC will give us. I'm also very curious how this is going to work. It looks like it's going to be pretty close. No, not a full straight in, but vectoring to the right, I guess. Why can't I pick the new subs on YouTube? It's a shame.
We hope you enjoyed today's
What?
flight.
Can't pick the new subs? What's that mean?
As enjoyable as possible. When the seatbelt sign is off, you're free to get up and move about the cabin. However, when seated, please keep your seatbelt fastened, as turbulence can occur at any time.
Anytime. Oh my god, look how dark this is. They can't even see anything. I can see the stars on my screen. I'm using an OLED monitor. It looks freaking crazy. Holy smokes. This is gonna be terrifying. Alright, on landing, if we make it, runway 7, exit to the left. Probably gonna be Echo, and then backtrack on taxi, looks like on runway 24-6. At least it's a boring view. I'm very curious what BeyondATC is going to do. No Star, no Sid. This is going to be really interesting. But it does have the Simbury profile is pretty much direct. Pretty much direct, so I think it's going to be okay. I'm going to knock on wood and hope it's going to be okay. Alright, put in 3000 for altitude.
Contact Oakland Oceanic 118.4, United 174.
When you give subs away, it's huge. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, I wish you could give, I wish you could give it to an individual person.
15,000.
United 174.
Yeah, this is a super short hop. Super, super short. The next flight after this is going to be Chicago to Detroit. So another short hop, 203 nautical miles. I'm kind of thinking about either taking the E-Jet or the CRJ, which means we won't have FSFO again. So, but put in what's your thoughts? Let me put in a poll. We can also take the Phoenix, I guess, too, if we really want to take the Phoenix. Alright, start a poll. Plane. Let's see. Next flight, plane. CRJ, the ERJ, or the Phoenix. Alright, polls up. So, we'll decide on what the next plane shall be. Kodiak. I don't have enough time for the Kodiak. Not enough time for the Kodiak. This will get us on the ground here at 45. So this is gonna, the next flight's gonna be pushing it, but it should be alright. We just gotta get moving pretty quick. I'm overall, geez, I can't talk. Really impressed with this last update. This last Sim 3 update. Again, I'm really impressed with it. I haven't had a single CTD. I have had, though,
United 174, contact Oakland Oceanic 118.
not, what's it called? How do you say it?
Oakland Oceanic
Not closing properly.
117,
I've had that issue, but that might be related to the iFly plugin.
Oakland Oceanic,
I think it's related to the iFly plugin.
15,000.
Because I'll go ahead and close out the iFly plugin, and at sometimes, not all times, I say 50% chance that it'll actually close out the
United 174, Oakland Oceanic, expect radar
the sim itself. Expect runway 7, United 174. Ever thought about using SimTool Kit Pro or Volanta overlay for the flight stats on stream? I do have Volanta. I don't have it currently on. I'm using, man, you weren't here from the beginning of stream, but I'm trying out Meld Studio. It's an alternative to OBS. And the only reason why I'm trying it is because I don't know for sure if OBS has been the culprit on the streams. Will, thanks for the 5 gifted memberships. As always, thanks a whole bunch for that. I don't know if you all hear the sounds. I don't hear the sounds because of Meld, but Will, thanks for that, as always. Mikey got one, Tattooed got one, Traxxas got one, and Kevin got one. Is there a 5th person? Oh, Alan. Alan also got one. But yeah, so I'm trying Meld Studio. Sounds like melted. And it's an alternative OBS, and I don't know if OBS has been causing the issues I've been having on the stream recently, because I don't have those issues when I don't stream. Now, it could just be I'm using more VRAM, right? So, but I want to just test this theory out to see if this is actually the cause or not. And Meld seems to be pretty good. Like, I'm not having any major complaints. I don't like that I can't select the scheduled stream. I dislike that, but I guess I just won't schedule streams. And I have to do some tweaking to sounds and stuff like that. I might get individual sounds in there, and then I obviously got to figure out the rest. But so far, at least on this initial flight, it's been pretty good. Let's see, my GPU is not even at 6 still, so yeah, my VRAM's really low. But again, this is the middle of nowhere, so this is a tough flight to really do. Top of descent, yep. Oakland Oceanic, United 174 ready for descent.
United 174, Francisco C. out of Saipan, airport landing runway 7.
Okie dokie.
Francisco C. Ada Saipan Airport, landing
I think that just means
174.
we are cleared to descend. Descend.
United 174, altimeter 29er 89er, expect a visual approach runway 7.
Altimeter 2.
Auto brakes.
Visual approach runway 7, United 174.
Approach briefing. We're expecting the ILS approach for runway 07. The minimum altitude is 200 feet. We'll use manual braking.
Descent
We can
maintain
expect to
6,000,
park at
altimeter
gate
2989.
5. In case of
United
go around,
174.
we'll climb per ATC instructions on the runway heading. Any questions?
No.
I'm good. Completed.
I don't know why I like saying that. Any questions? Hells no. Alright, flaps are 30 on arrival, AC's on, anti-ice is off, max braking, nope, just gonna do that. Config, all are operational, no for that. And let's calculate it. Oh, try conditions. Calculate. 145. Is that what we have here? 145, beautiful, grand. Alright, descent is in process, we're down to 6,000. I put in 3,000, but let's see. At Willie, Willie's not even on my thing, but what's our arrival say here? At Willie, 6,000, so that's fine. But then it wants us to drop it down to 3,000 in that little short span. No, that's crazy. I'm a little concerned by that, so I might have to do auto vertical speed, manual vertical speed on this arrival. Alright, looks like the Phoenix is winning by a landslide, huh? We got 2 votes in. Landslide. Welcome to the Black Void. Yeah, for real. Alright, so we should be on the ground here in the next 18 minutes. So I say that's a first good flight test here. Can't see jack squat, except for we do know there's land over here. It's so dark. It's also really wild for me to see the difference between the stream and my OLED, because I can see like all the stars up here. They're bright. They're not like crazy bright, but they're bright. And I know you can see them on the stream, but it's not as bright.
It's been a pleasure having you on board with us today. We look forward to seeing you again on a future.
Shall we gamble? No gambling. I think Phoenix comes in 2 weeks. What do you mean, the new, the big update for the Phoenix? I don't know. I think we're gonna hear some fairly large announcements next Friday. I think we're gonna hear, like, okay, so obviously if you've paid attention a little bit in the last 24 hours, there apparently was a page up for the PMGG Max. And rumor has it that maybe PMGG will be announcing it at the Flight Sim Expo next week. I don't think so. It's not typical PMGG, so I would highly doubt it.
Center on 118.4 United.
But there's a chance of that. Alright, that's on. Landing lights, taxi lights, checked. But it'd be interesting. It'd be very big competition. You have the Asobo Max, which is free. You have the iFly, which is an experimental and working pretty well for me. And then we'll have the PMGG. The only big caveat with all of this is the tablet in the PMGG is really, really good. The iFly one, it works. It's just a little clunky. And then the PMGG likely won't have a plug-in, which means that then it will be available on the Xbox. So it would be very big competition. But they did say at some point that they had to push it back because they had to put more effort into their other stuff, their business-related 737. So I think it's just someone accidentally posted it. That's my guess. I don't think we're going to see it next week. I don't think we're going to see it announced next week. I think we'll hear, and especially since they haven't even officially came out with the 700, 800, or 900, or 600, I guess. None of that's been come out either, so yeah, I don't foresee a Max PMG announcement next week. But I wouldn't be surprised if any builds has something up their sleeve. I wouldn't be surprised if we're definitely going to hear something from Flight Sim Studios. We're definitely going to hear about the E-Jets, so I'm excited as we know about that. We might even see something from Aerosoft with the CRJ V3, with the new flight model. BeyondATC is not there this year, so I don't expect anything to go amazing on their end. I know the iFly tablet is true to life, but man, it's so clunky. Yeah, it takes some getting used to. It really does. I have a little soft spot for it, honestly. I really do. I have a soft spot for it. It's weird, but and I would love to see things moved around a bit. But it's workable. It's workable. It serves its point. I know there's some people that really hate it, and I understand why. But I think it's serviceable. It does this job. It has the features we need. I would like to see a button in there to attach to Jetway. I think that's a feature that's missing, but I think that's something they said they were going to be working on. Hey, there's our airport. Runway in sight. Alright, so next flight, Chicago to Detroit. Technically, that's not the next one, but I'm going to skip the next flight because it's like 500 nautical miles, and yeah, it's too much for me.
United 174, turn right. Heading 040.
040, so that's pretty much just going to be the vector in.
Turn right, heading 040.
So localizer
United 174.
is activated. Let's see if it captures it. I like the iFly more than the PMGG, to be honest. I feel like I have to do more to get it going, and I like that. Yeah, that's what I really like about the iFly is that the Phoenix, and I've talked about this before on stream, but like the Phoenix, you know, Airbuses in general, they're great aircrafts if you just want to get out and fly, right? They're stable, they do their job, there's not a whole lot to them. But if you want to handle a plane a lot more, actually it wasn't our runway, our airport's right here.
United 174, fly present heading, intercept the 7 localizer.
Fly present heading.
The
intercept
Boeings
7
are a lot more
localizer.
hands-on,
United
and the
174.
iFly is a lot more hands-on, I feel. Plus, I love the flight model. I just love this flight model. 2,700.
Descend, maintain 2,700 feet, United 174.
Alright, speed's looking good. We're 20 nautical miles out. Altitude's looking pretty decent as well. Alright, approach is armed as well. Let's go and do manual for the speed. So I don't like where that arch is. And let's reduce our speed down to 200. Y'all just button greedy, guys. Hey, I didn't talk bad about the Phoenix and the Airbuses. Will, you and Jay Russ would be our best friends. You both are Airbus guys. And I like a good Airbus, but I also like, you know. So what was it? With Airbuses, you can literally use your one finger to control the joystick in real life, in the real plane. You can't do that with the Boeing, you know, with the 737s at least, or the 727s. You can't do that in those planes. Hell, you can't even do it with the 777. You can't just use one finger to fly the plane. I like more of that hands-on approach, personally. Too far away from the...
United 174. Airport is at your 12 o'clock 15 miles. Report the field in sight.
Oh, there's guys. So we have the field in sight, United 174. Do a failure in the Phoenix later on. What livery we're flying? We are flying the United. Flying United using the pilot's life. Can barely see the UNI here. Alright, 12 nautical miles out. Let's start bringing out our flaps. Speed brakes are stowed. Random one. If I had more time, Will, I would. Okay, so next week, next Friday, we're gonna start the stream early before the expo. And we'll do a flight with random. We'll see what happens.
Descend, maintain 1,200,
Flaps
United 174.
Alright, flaps 5 out. Let's bring our speeds back to 180.
United 174, contact Sapien Tower 125.7.
Over to Tower 125.7, United 174.
And let's bring our gear out a little earlier.
Visual runway
approach checklist. Didn't want to do it automatically.
Approach checklist completed.
And landing checklist.
Engine start. Continuous. Speed brake. Speed brake on. Landing gear. Down. Flaps.
I'm working on the flaps. Take it easy. What was it? 145.
Flaps 10. Flaps. Sit.
Some of the best flying I've done was in the MD-80.
Notified.
The MD-80 is fun.
Landing checklist completed.
It is fun.
Flaps 25. Cabin crew prepare for landing.
With the OBS thingy, it looks better, and the chat is coming through faster. With this OBS thingy, I like that. That's the terminology right there. The OBS thingy looks better, and the chat is coming through faster. That's good news. That's good news for sure. I don't know why it would become faster, though, because it's the same browser source. So far, I'm happy with it. I'll have to do all my tweaks and get it all set up the way I like it, but for 20 minutes worth of work, it's pretty good. Alright, let's go AP off, shall we? I'm a little scared. Let's go approach mode here. Alright, AP's off. We do have some pappies to look at. Not those kind of pappies. Come on, get your head out of it. Alright, looks like one red, one white. We're doing alright. Thank goodness. Well, I guess the wind's a little bit of crosswind at 7 knots. Thankfully, that's not crazy. 1,000 call. 256. Will says he has a lot of confidence in me. I'm gonna say 280. A little high on the approach. Let's bring the nose down a little bit. Okay, maintaining center line pretty good so far. That's positive. Little high still. Gotta get down, buddy.
Unstable.
It always says unstable. I had a super stable flight yesterday. It was on AP and it was saying unstable.
Minimums.
Landing.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Hold it. Hold it. Touchdown.
Breakout.
Alright, firsters out.
First cross.
Alright, versers are stowed. Flaps coming up.
70 knots.
Oh, we could have made that one. I didn't even see that taxiway. That's how dark it is. Alright, we're going to go all the way down to the end here. That was not bad. That was not bad at all. I'll take it. Alright, speed brakes are disarmed. Where the hell is the exit? Here it is.
Exit next available taxiway, United 174.
Alright, welcome to, where the hell are we? I don't even know. Alright, taxi lights, or sorry, landing lights are off. Off. Off, okay. We're backtracking on this runway.
21.8 United.
I'm not going to worry about getting our ground information. The terminal's right there, and this is the only way to get there. Okay. La cucaracha? La cucaracha? Oh, not that one? Okay, so we're going to go all the way down to Bravo. Well, this was a cool flight. Super short, but it was really cool. Like, it's rare that we do super dark night ones like this. It was a good test to see how the iFly was going to operate, and obviously it did a pretty good job. And I guess the next flight we're doing is the... Oh, actually, we're getting some 62%. We got some votes going on here. Looks like, yeah, looks like Phoenix still is winning. So we're gonna end the poll. Phoenix won, so we'll do the next flight in the Phoenix. I think Will voted 22 times. Even though there were 8 votes, I think Will voted 22 times. I think it was rigged.
Ground speed.
Whoa, 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 watch the ground speed. Watch it, watch it. But I am gonna cycle the sim. Just so that we can have an equal opportunity here to test the performance.
Watch the ground speed.
Watching it, watching it, watching it. Cheaters galore. Alright, I gotta see if I can see the dang exit here. Alright, how are we on the ground here? On the ground here, we're maxing out at just under 7 gigs of VRAM. Gigabytes of VRAM. Where the hell is the thing? Why is there no blue lines here? How is a blind pilot supposed to see the terminal? Alright, we're just gonna pick this gate next up. And I won't be able to see that yellow line there. I'm trying to follow the yellow brick road. Alright, taxi lights are off. This is GSX terminal still. I didn't think GSX was bringing those in. Alright, over here to the side, let's go ahead and do system page, connect that, set it, beautiful, grand. External power is on. Waiting for the APU stuff, cool, grand. Let's go on down here, engine cutoffs. Helmet light on. Alright, let's see what we got with a pilot's life. A pilot's life is saying to get a life. Alright, logbook. I don't have this set up yet on screen. Although here's another complaint, is you can't do game capture with Meld. I got 100 score. So 100 score. And landing rate was 151. Holy cow, 151. You know what that means? You know what that means, Will? A 151 landing rate. That's pretty damn good. For a night flight like that, I felt heavier.
Shutdown checklist. Fuel pumps. Off. Probe heat. Off. Hydraulic pumps. Sit. Flaps. Up. Parking brake. On. Fuel control switches. Off. Weather radar. Off. Shutdown checklist completed.
There we go. So here it says 148. So yeah, it was a damn good landing rate. Damn good landing rate. That's 2 confirmed landing rates right there, folks. 2. Not just 1, but 2. Count them. Alright, let's go and exit the sim. And like I said, the only thing I dislike about it is you can't do a game capture. You have to do only a display capture. That's in Meld Studio. Alright, like I said, we are going to cycle the sim though, because I want to give it a fair opportunity here. The next flight will be in the A319. Where the hell is P2? 151 and APL is being broken for sure. First officer is being broken as well. Alright, so it shut down properly. Cool, cool. Let's exit that and exit that. And give it a couple seconds. All right, let's launch up the sim again. We'll give it some seconds to load. Yes, I wish you could do a game capture. Media source, display capture, video source. Yeah. It's my only critique really for Meld. Maybe they'll add that in the future. Alright, so Windy City to the non-windy city of Detroit. Weather is pretty good outside here in Chicago. A little cloudy. Everyone having fun? Smash that like button. Alright, so the 319 for the next flight. I really want the 220. That'd be cool if Synaptic releases the 220 on Friday. That'd be freaking smashing. I tell you what, if they did that during the expo, I would probably just have to cancel the expo and just start flying that plane. Well, I guess I'd have it on the background, but we'd be live streaming the flight. Maybe I'll do that. Should we do a flight during the expo, and I can have the expo up on the screen on the side, you know, like on the side here somewhere? Well, I guess you can't see my mouse going, but have the we can do a flight during the expo. Maybe we can do Chicago to Rhode Island, since that's where I'm going from, and to. What do you think? What do you think? Shall we do that or no? Do a flight during the expo. So instead of just having the expo on and talking about the expo, we can have it in the background. Alright, start flight. Let me get my briefing going. Let's brief it with the sim. United 576 as our call sign today. We're going to be in IAE engines. We're departing runway 22 left as of right this second. 319. We gotta go to United though. Have to admit the 787 control is a bit hard. Yeah, I haven't flown the 787. I'm gonna go with. Let's go with this dude. I think this is what my screenshot is today. My thumbnail. Alright, save it. And we're gonna go to the Windy City. And should we be real good pilots and actually park where United parks at and do the long trek? Even though I wouldn't be surprised if we get a different runway assignment with BeyondATC. Alright, let's start the flight. When is the expo? Friday. Next Friday. I don't know if Horizon Sim used the default 787 physics. Let's make Luxterio great again. Luxterio was never great to begin with. Alright, here we are in the Windy City of Chicago. Yeah, the expo starts at... what time does the expo start at? Is it like 4 p.m. Eastern time or something like that? Flight Sim Expo. Expo. I always forget what time it starts at. Schedule. Okay, the reveal starts at 1 p.m. and that's Eastern time, I believe. Which would be 2 p.m. my time, I think. Which y'all might be sleeping. European folks might be sleeping. Oh my god, what the hell is that? Oh, never mind, that's right. Okay, here we are in the Phoenix. And the first thing we're going to test real quick, or check out, is our VRAM, which is up to 10. So it's normal, so we're not seeing any difference with that, unfortunately. Okay, so we do need to get... let's back out here. Let's get FSU IPC. Let's get FS HUD. Or not FS HUD, FSFO and BeyondATC. Boring again. Good. BeyondATC.
BeyondATC connected.
I can't seem to get this dude to stick to the top, though. See, here's my settings. Bypass, mute, and all that. I had it set, but nothing works. GUI is supposed to stay on top. App on top. Requires a restart. It's supposed to stay on top, but guess what? Look at this. It's gone. So what the hell? Alright, start this guy up. And we're going to be in the Phoenix. The Phoenix. And I don't expect initial altitude. Well, I'm going to say 5,000 is what I'm expecting for the initial altitude. I'm just guessing. Start. Okay. Cool. BeyondATC's loading. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic. Alright, let's go over here to the side. Phoenix. And mass. Load the aircraft. Let's go up here to the top. Bring that all in. Calculate. Beautiful grand. Up here. Start the batteries. IRS is aligning. Cool grand. Wings, master switch. Alright, and it's doing its flows. It automatically starting its flow in the background, so that's cool. Alright, going down here to config. Manuals. Navigation. IRS 1, 2, and 3. Let's begin over to ATC. Clearance is 1, 2, and a 6. Or 2, 1, and a 6.
Cockpit preparation checklist. Cockpit
O'Hare
preparation.
clearance, United 576, ready to, for IFR clearance to Detroit.
Pounds. Checked. Passenger signs. On. IRU.
United 576, O'Hare
Aero
clear
reference.
to
2991.
Radar
Checked.
vectors Brainer.
FMGS.
Maintain 5,000. Expect flight level
Departure
370,
briefing.
10
There
minutes
will be
after
a left seat
departure.
takeoff from
Departure frequency
Kilo Oscar Romeo Delta 2 Kilo Delta Tango. Taxi route is per ATC instructions. We'll be departing on runway
Cleared to Detroit
2
Metro
left,
Rainco Airport.
climbing via the
Radar
departure
vectors Rayner,
procedures to
then
an
as
initial
filed.
altitude of
Maintain
5,000 feet.
5,000.
Standard
Expect flight
reject
level
and emergency
370,
procedures
10
apply.
minutes after
Any
departure.
questions?
No.
Departure frequency 126.625.
Completed.
Again, I don't know why I do that.
5013, United
I love that so much.
576.
Sending.
United 576, read back correct. Contact ground 121.75 when ready for pushback or engine start.
We'll contact ground
Before start checklist.
121.75
Parking brake.
when ready for pushback.
If you start with
or engine
turnaround
start.
state, it's faster?
576.
It's faster?
See you, thanks.
VR 120.
What's it do that's faster?
122. Checked. Doors. Closed. Passenger signs. On. Beacon lights. On. Before start checklist completed.
Alright, we're expecting 2-1 on the arrival. 2-1 left via Rock City. Rock City. 2 via Porzel. Porzel. Mr. Porzel. Alright, runway 22 left is still the runway. Wow, didn't change the runways. FS and Phoenix both. Oh, if I start the Phoenix and turn around. Yeah, I know about the Phoenix. But what does First Officer do that's faster? Okay, I think we're ready for pushback and start, huh? O'Hare ground, United 576, ready for pushback and engine start.
United 576, O'Hare ground, pushback and engine start approved. Face south.
Alright, facing
Pushback
south.
approved. Face south, United 576.
Okay, so we might be onto something. We hit 10 with the VRAM once. I'm so far thinking that we might have a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Engine start flows. Engine number 1. Clocks. Yeah, we're at 9.89 with the VRAM. That's really good. That's really, really good. HW Info is telling me different story. It's allotting 14. But I think available is 13. So yeah, so there's still 2 gigabytes available.
Engine 1
So
started.
what this shows in the sim, you're not seeing it on the screen of course, but what it's showing in the sim is the available versus total. Alright, pushback looking grand. Hear the click. Engine number 2 coming on board next. It's saving VRAM, yeah. What did you do? DLSS swapper. Yeah, so I swapped to the latest DLSS. And there is a VRAM save there. But I also think Meld isn't using as much VRAM as OBS. We are still going to do some more testing though. We're not confirming all of this. O'Hare Ground, United 576, ready for taxiing to the active. Why is there no traffic? Is traffic turned off? Oh, it's off, that's why. It's turned on. Traffic.
United
Engine 2 started.
576, runway 22, left taxi via Alpha, Alpha 17, Lima Lima, November, Victor.
Runway 22, left taxi via Alpha, Alpha 17, Lima Lima, November, Victor, United 576.
Alright. Max brakes. Flaps are supposed to be at 3. Taxi lights are on. After flow, start flow.
After start checklist. And eyes. Sit. ECAM status. Checked. Trim. Sit. After start checklist completed.
After start the checklist
From the flight
completed.
deck, we wanted to welcome you on board and thank you for flying with us today. We're anticipating an on-time departure. So
I
just
am
sit
getting
back,
an
relax,
FPS hit right
relax.
now. VRAM's
Clear
good
on the right.
though.
Clear on the left.
So I think this is just a frame gen issue. Yeah, I'm getting like
Taxi checklist.
flickering, a little
Takeoff
flickering.
runway.
It's not terrible. It's
Check.
really bright on the screen.
Takeoff.
There's no way to set filters like there's an
Check.
OBS.
Flight control test.
So the stream's going to be a little bit brighter than it should be. Sorry about that. Alright, we are going to Alpha 17. Takeoff speeds checked. Oh, checking the yoke
Full
still.
left. Neutral. Full right.
United 359,
Neutral.
O'Hare Ground, pushback approved.
Full back.
Face north. Pushback and engine
Full
start
forward.
approved.
Check.
Face north.
Flaps.
United 359.
Flaps are set. For 3. That's what my takeoff is. 3, yeah.
Flaps.
They're set. Skip it. Set.
Flaps.
Set. Flaps are set.
American 2458
Oh.
at gate kilo 18.
That's not working.
Pushback.
It's stuck on flaps.
Flaps.
American 2458,
Flaps.
O'Hare Ground, pushback.
Can I get it to not?
Start approved. Face southwest.
Can I get it to skip it?
Pushback approved. Face southwest. American 2458.
Flaps.
Flaps are set. Alright. I'll do
Set.
flaps 1.
Radar PWS.
Radar. System 1 is what I've been
Engine
doing.
mode.
Normal.
Sit. ECAM memo. Takeoff no blue.
No blue. Well, let's check
Brake test.
technically. Brake test.
Checked. Taxi checklist completed.
Flaps 3 is not good. Not good. That's what it's recommending. The Phoenix is recommending a Flaps 3. Swapped my 4080S for 7900 for the extra VRAM, and so far regretting not having DLSS. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you can use FSGR or FSRGR. Jeez, I can't even say it. FSRFG, but it's not quite the same. All right, here's 16.
Runway 27 left taxi via Alpha, Golf, Papa Papa, United 359.
Take 2. All right, Alpha 17, and then we'll be on Lima Lima.
SkyWest 203, O'Hare ground, pushback approved, face south.
Pushback approved. Face south. SkyWest 203.
And then,
2458, taxi for departure.
oh, I haven't set my departure runway yet in the FMC. Let's get straight, and then I'll do that. November, and then Victor.
Runway 28 right taxi via Alpha, Bravo, Lima Lima, November, Yankee, American 2458.
Brickyard 36.
All right, here we are straight. Let's go on down here. O'Hare, departure 22 left.
Brickyard 3668, O'Hare ground, pushback and engine start approved.
All right, should be good there. Slow down, slow down. On the ground, the sound goes berserk here. On the stream? Are they really loud? Are they overdoing my voice? Maybe I have to lower down the sim volume.
United 1879, request taxi.
United 1879, runway 27 left taxi via Alpha.
Oh, is that better?
Papa Papa.
Runway 27 left taxi via Alpha, Golf, Papa Papa, United 1879.
I lowered the sim volume, so no, the ground rolls are off. Oh, okay.
SkyWest 203. Ready to taxi to the active.
28 right. What are you talking about? 28 right.
SkyWest 203, runway 28 right taxi via Alpha, Alpha 17, Lima Lima,
Cabin crew,
November,
prepare for
Yankee.
takeoff.
Runway 28 right taxi via Alpha. Alpha 17. Lima Lima. November. Yankee.
All right, here we are. 22 left.
Line up checklist. Takeoff runway. 22 left.
576, contact
22 left.
120.75.
Confirmed. TCAS.
Contact tower
Sit.
120.75, United
Sit.
576.
Cabin
See
crew.
you.
Cabin crew, prepare for takeoff. Notified. Line up checklist.
O'Hare Tower, United 576, ready to go. Runway 22 left.
United 576, O'Hare Tower, wind 215 fly runway heading, runway 22 left, cleared for takeoff.
22 left, clear for takeoff.
Fly runway heading.
Have
runway
to pick up
22
my
left, clear for
speakers.
takeoff,
Is the
United
bass really loud?
576.
You were talking about the bass on with the Max too.
O'Hare Tower, United 1156.
All right, so we're gonna follow runway heading on departure here.
United 1156, O'Hare Tower, wind 215 runway 28 center, cleared to land.
All right, throttle's coming up.
28 center, cleared to land. United 1156.
Man flicks.
Flex set.
SRS. Thrust set.
Yeah, the lineup flow and the Excel seem to work in the Phoenix, which is really, really cool.
100 knots.
Checked.
B1. Rotate.
Rotating. Whoa, bring up the nose. Whoa.
Positive rate.
Gear going up.
Gear up.
Little wonky there on the takeoff.
400 feet.
All right, first notch of flaps are coming up.
Flaps 2.
United 576, contact Chicago departure, take care.
To departure.
Contact Chicago departure, United 576.
That's why flaps 3.
Chicago
But it told me to do
departure,
flaps
United
3.
576.
Should I not listen to it? Should I change it?
Acceleration
United
altitude.
576,
Flaps one.
Departure, radar contact, climb, maintain flight level 180.
180.
Climb, maintain flight level 180, United 576.
Alright, building up speed.
Turn right, heading 015.
015.
Turn right, heading 015, United 576.
All aircraft be advised, information Quebec now current. Altimeter
Flaps up.
2998.
Flaps up.
Flaps are up.
Chicago departure, American 2458, 1500. American 2458, Chicago departure, radar contact, climb, maintain 17,000.
Alright, looking good. Speed brakes are disarmed. Oh crap, APU is on still.
17,000 feet, altimeter 2998, American 2458.
Always take flaps 2 max for takeoff. Okay.
American 2458, cleared direct CMSK, resumo navigation.
I've always just done whatever the Phoenix says to do.
Roger, heading direct CMSKY, then resumo
It's very rare ever to get a
2458.
flaps 3 takeoff. Normally it's flaps 1. Once in a while a flaps 2.
Chicago
But it seems to be only be like a 1 or a 3.
2500.
Rolling off here.
United 359, Chicago departure. Good day. Radar contact. Climb and maintain 16,000 feet. Altimeter 2998.
Alright, so the Detroit we're going to is an Indy-built airport, so this is going to be a good VRAM test because Indy-build obviously does use our resources quite a bit in the sim.
United 359, cleared direct back-in. Resumo navigation.
And we should get direct to Rainer soon.
Navigation, United 359. Thanks. United 576, cleared direct Rainer. Resumo navigation.
Oh, there it is. Alright, direct Rainer.
Roger, we'll head direct Rainer, then resumo
Direct
navigation,
to
United
Rainer.
576. Thanks.
Bam.
United 576, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Watch your airspeed.
I'm watching it, I'm watching it.
1879, 1800.
Alright, AP is
Autopilot
on.
one.
United 1879, Chicago departure. Radar contact. Climb, maintain 16,000. Altimeter 2998.
Alright, looking good.
10,000 feet.
10,000, landing lights are off.
Altimeter 2998. United 1879.
Okay, other than the weird frame gen issue that I'm experiencing, we're looking really, really good. Chicago's missing, downtown at least.
SkyWest 203, Chicago departure. Radar contact. Climb and maintain flight level 180.
Alright, so we're gonna climb all the way up to 370.
Skywest 203.
So I'm gonna go ahead and put 370 in the box.
SkyWest 203, cleared direct Olin. Resumo navigation.
And then at standard pressure, I'm gonna step away for just a few moments and then we'll come on back. I don't have my little
Skywest 203.
stepped away thingy, so we'll see if we can get that fixed at some point as well. I wish there were filters I could do. Let me check. Yeah, there's no filter options. Fit mode, capture cursor. We can go old school. We can go black and white. We can go old school TV mode. Oh, that's how we should do the stream all the time. Just like that. Perfect. We go scan lines.
United 576, contact Chicago Center
We go 90s. Oh my gosh, perfect. Right there. This is Flight Sim 98 right here, folks.
Contact Chicago
Perfect.
Center 120.35,
Can't
United
complain about that.
576.
There we go. That's the stream from now on. That's perfect quality.
Chicago
That's what I'm
Center,
talking about.
United 576 through 15,700 for flight level 180.
effects. Let's see. Add, glow, fill, tint.
576, Chicago Center, good day. Climb, maintain flight level 370.
Yeah, I don't see a way. There's
Climb,
contrast and
maintain flight level
brightness,
370,
maybe.
United 576.
It's just really bright. The clouds are really bright for y'all. Yeah, that's not really fixing it. It's because of HDR.
Transition altitude.
Well, that might be better. Sharpen, invert colors, hue, saturation, glow, fractal noise, fill, drop. Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's that. What's threshold? Oh, perfect.
Chicago Center, Southwest 351, flight level 399er.
Southwest 351, Chicago Center, roger.
Yeah, there's no like HDR thing.
United 2341, contact Chicago approach
Chroma key.
119.0.
Oh well. That's about the best I can do.
Contact Chicago approach, United 2341.
It'll have to do for now.
Southwest 351,
I
Chicago.
don't know why chat's not working though in
Pack tree, runway 25 left.
Expect go pack tree, runway 25 left.
Alright, standard pressure.
351.
Enough screwing around here, folks. Got business to do in the sky. That frame gen issue is it's just so annoying. Let's see. Well, I'm having to undervolt my GPU to get it to even run. However, I select FSR 3 and I get consistent driver timeouts followed by CTD.
Chicago Center, United 576. Through flight level 221.
Saturation
flight level 370,
is horrible, man.
direct to Taillez.
It's so bright.
United 576, Chicago Center.
There's nothing I can do about it with meld though. There's no option. I feel like at least when I was doing the minor adjustments, it helped a little bit. Yellows, greens, magentas. Yeah, there's perfect. I wish I could just do a certain brightness. I don't know, that looks rough too. It's so difficult to try to dial this in. I just need an HDR filter, or I just need to turn off HDR to begin with, but I really like HDR. Oh, there you go. That solves the problem. Yeah. What the hell is this? Oh, here we go. Yeah, we're just gonna have to deal with it. Sorry. Just gonna have to deal with it for now, at least. I still want to do some OBS testing. Uh-oh. Bad news, folks. I think we're just getting that frame gen bug right now.
Southwest 351, flight level 399er.
Frames are down to 40, but it looks like they're slowly climbing up. 45, 46, 47, 48. Yeah, okay. Looks like it was just that frame gen bug. Let's see, standard. I thought about trying to play a flight sim game, but not sure if I would like it. Probably crash on takeoff. Another person. In Swapper, don't take the latest FSR file, but the one before that. Slideshow, baby. Alright, we're back up to 100 FPS, but I know you don't see it on the stream because it's monitor based, but I need to test. I need to test, like, using my secondary monitor and see if this frame gen thing happens on there, this FPS hit, because this only happened when I switched over to this monitor. It's when I click off and on, it seems like. So if I'm on the second monitor too much, so like I'm seeing it more recently because I'm having to use FSFO. I have to click the buttons instead of it doing it manually or automatically. That's where I'm seeing this issue happen more and more. These clouds are beautiful. I want a refund. No refunds. No soup for you. That looks so awful on the stream. Sorry. It looks beautiful on my screen. I apologize. I really do. I'm liking Meld. If there was an HDR filter, it would be fantastic. Let me see if I can... Let me see. Meld Studio HDR. So it does say there's supposed to be some sort of HDR. Enjoy vibrant colors and contrast if you're streaming. Yeah, so I get that. I see that part. Post-apocalyptic. I can't say the word. Sorry. Apocalypse. Oh my gosh. Apocalypse. Oh my lord. Now I just want to say it. Smooth, layer, record, or reordering, chat, hotkeys. Yeah, I don't see anything about HDR. What are you guys talking about? I found it. Why are you giving me this page? Yeah, that's a problem. Are you changing HDR settings on Windows or your streaming software? So with
Flight level 370.
with OBS, you can do a filter
576 Chicago Center, roger.
on within OBS, and it allows it to go to standard mode. There is no such thing with meld. I can't find a button that says SDR output. I use HDR on my PC, but there's no way to capture, like, I'm capturing HDR. I'm guessing if you're on an OLED screen, it looks fine. But when you're not on an OLED screen, like my second monitor is not an OLED screen, it looks like crap. So like I'm guessing like Kip, who uses an OLED, if he's looking on his OLED screen, he's probably seen it and looks fine. It's just not this doesn't convert nicely, and most people don't seem to have OLED. And I think that's where the problem lies right now. Alright, get another 1,000 feet to go. I'm going to step away for just a couple seconds. Be right back.
From the flight deck, we've reached our cruising altitude. We hope you enjoyed today's flight. We'll certainly do our best up here to make it as enjoyable as possible. When the seatbelt sign is off, you're free to get up and move about the cabin. However, when seated, please keep your seatbelt fastened as turbulence can occur at any time. Thanks again and welcome aboard.
Alright, so looking good. Again, the real test is going to be coming into the Innobilge Detroit, because Innobilge is a very high, not optimized greatly airports, most of them. And Detroit's always been a pretty tough one for me. So we're going to see what the VRAM looks like here. But so far, I'm seeing that it has shown an improvement. Now, I don't have as many things going on with it, so I was also looking into that. So maybe if I remove some sources with OBS, it will be better. I was looking at the capture card thing, and I don't know. It's too much for Lex. He's only human. Am I? I might be an android. I could be an android. I might stream on Sunday. So Sunday with A Pilot's Life, they have an event. So every week there's an event you can do, and I think it's community voted. So like this random event for this week is VVNB to VVTS. There's a Saturday community event. Ooh, what's that? Not all interested in. It's also not all payout. But the Sunday event is... Oh, crap, top of descent. Is Auckland to Christchurch, so New Zealand. So I might stream Sunday morning. We'll kind of see what happens. But there's a chance I might do that. Let me notify that one for me. So that'd be a fun one to do, though, on stream. We don't do New Zealand flights very much, so we can do Air New Zealand flight in the A320. Uh-oh. Oh, crap. I hope APL didn't just crash on me. Alright, APL just crashed to me. That's fantastic. So I don't think I'm getting credit for this flight. This is a feature, yeah, it's already being used. I have to wait 5 minutes. This is a feature I wish APL would add, which is like if it crashes that you can go and,
Approaching
you
top
know,
of descent.
save the flight mid-flight or something like that. I just teamed up with a 330 driver to stream. I don't know, shall I do it? Yeah, why not? I'm sure nothing will go wrong with him. Irishman, welcome in. Perfect timing.
From the flight deck, we've started
We're on
our
approach
descent. Expect to
into
arrive to the
Detroit
gate in 20 to 25
in the 319.
minutes. It's been a pleasure having you on board with us today. We look forward
We're
to
testing
seeing you
Meld
again on a future
Meld
flight.
Studio. So it's an alternative to OBS. Literal God and Jesus, what could go wrong? My pilot light did crash on me though. That's what I get for going into it during flight and messing with it. Where did I get the first officer pack? That can be found at my non-sponsored link. Not paid, or sorry, I did pay for this. I did pay for it. I do own it. I was not provided additional support for them. I'm not partnered with them. They did not name their first kid after me. They do not walk on water. They are developing a great product. I do support them. Is it worth it? Yes. In my opinion, yes. I think it's a great add-on. It adds on a little bit more realism to it, a little bit more immersion. It's one thing I do wish is, and I mentioned, someone had brought this up in the on the channel, and it's very fair. Like,
United 576, contact Chicago
if you own one of the versions, so like if you buy the iFly version, if you can get like a whatever 30%, 40% discount if you buy the, you know, the Phoenix version, that kind of thing, it'd be really cool.
Chicago Center, United 576.
Because they're
Good day. Descending via
like some of the
Roxy
add-on
2,
planes.
flight level
If you own, you know, for example, the Flight Sim Studios 727, if you own the freighter version, you can get a discount on the passenger version. I think that's cool, and I don't know why they don't do it with this one. More money to spend. Well, you primarily fly the Phoenix, so you just gotta buy the Phoenix version, which is $18 if you buy directly through them, which is what I did. Alright, can I launch APL yet? Nope. Gotta wait the full 5 minutes. Well, this sucks. Alright, I'll put my destination information in once I see APL. I'm crossing my fingers that it's gonna work, but I don't think it's gonna work the way I want it to. Flaps 3 will do now. Is there an all around for everything, you know, for me? Go big or go home. So in the Discord, Irishman, I did put in my profile for the for the iFly and the Phoenix of this. And so if you see my streams a bunch of times, so the way I like to set things up is I like to do most of the switches on my own. What I like to use First Officer for is for, you know, the landing lights off before 10,000, on before 10,000 kind of thing. I like to use them also just to kind of verify flaps are set, those kind of things. It's been beneficial with that stuff. It's nice to hear some of the flows too, to make sure things are done properly. In the Phoenix, it's not as much that it's doing, that I have it doing. I have a lot of me doing things. Whereas I feel like in the iFly, it's doing a little bit more stuff for me. So it's turning off the fan at a certain time, turning it back on, setting the RTO. It's setting things that I don't really care about personally setting up. It's doing those things for me. And I think that's where the best of both worlds kind of come in with the First Officer.
United 576 Cleveland Center, copy.
There's so many apps. I wish it would have whole yeah. But like First Officer does a pretty good job because it brings you a flight attendant, it brings you the the First Officer, it brings you RAAS, you know, a version of it. So it brings you 3 things in one right there, which is cool. So if you have those 3, it has a career mode, sort of, kind of. So it has that, and so technically it kind of has 4 features in one program. Again, kind of sort of with the career mode. It's not fully career mode, but close enough. Alright, I can now... No, I still can't. Jesus. Has it not been 5 minutes yet? I'm pretty sure it's been 5 minutes. More coming in version 6, yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see what version 6 brings to it all. Alright, there it is. Speed brakes are stowed. Yeah, god dang it. So I don't get credit for this flight. Oh well, I'll do the flight again later, I guess. Alright, so 3000, temperature 24, winds are 230 at 11, Barrow is what? 21 left, is that what we're expecting? Descend via Rock City 2. Alright, what did it say? Mr. BeyondATC, what'd you say? Have a good one. 2-1 left. 2-1 left. Cool. Alright, cool. So Barrow. One left. And 832. Cool. Bam. Alright, good. Grand. This, Detroit's been really, really good for vectors with BeyondATC. I haven't really had any issues ever with Detroit. More coming with U6. Failures? No. Failures next Friday. And this is the part that I screw up every time. Oh, yeah. Okay, so. Here, let's break it down here. Okay, so I like to use a pilot site for this information, but you can certainly get it from the briefing panel as well, under weather. Right? So, Detroit's information is all right here. So, what is the QNH? 3000. 3000. So you pop that in there. Okay,
Contact Cleveland
temperature
Center
24.
126.75.
Temperature, well, it's saying 23 here, so it's
576.
behind. So, but a pilot's life's updated, it says 24. So you see it's 23:18. It's in pilot's life, it says 24:17. So the temperature has risen just a little bit since this last update. So I have 24 in there. The winds are going to be up here, 230 at 7. So the winds have picked up just a little bit. So 230 at 7, it's updated to 230 at 11 in a pilot's life as the latest METAR. And then the baro you get from your charts. So on your charts here, with Navigraph, you have Navigraph, right? Detroit, go to starred, and then 2-1 left. Sorry, this one here, ILS. That's 832. 832 right here. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. Zoom in. 832 right down here.
Transition altitude.
So 832 goes right here with baro. 832. Cool. So QNH, temperature, wind, and baro minimums. Transition altitude. Oops, wrong button. There we go. 299.7 currently, going down to 300, or up to 300. Yeah, it's really bright, Irishman. I'm trying Meld Studio and it doesn't have an HDR setting. So it's my only flaw with Meld as of right now is it doesn't have an HDR, so I might not be able to use it unless I turn off HDR. I'm afraid to turn HDR off right now during a game, during the stream, because it might freeze up Flight Sim. I don't know if it does or doesn't, so yeah, it looks weird because of that. That's the reason. The FE price is coming down? Really? I'm seeing that it's available more at Best Buys on Reddit. People are like walking into Best Buys and picking it up off the shelf. That's kind of cool. I'm very happy with my 5080. Very, very happy with it. My plan is, I really do want to do a full Windows reset. I really do. But I also don't. It's a pain in the ass. Best Buy and Walmart? Interesting. I really do. Because I feel if I do that, I can probably get things to perform a little bit better. You know, get rid of some crap on the system that I don't use. And I've gone through and with Revo Installer and remove stuff, but obviously there's always stuff that's hidden. So I kind of want to do a full reset, see if that helps the system at all. But this little test right here is showing me a lot that I don't quite think it's a system issue that I've been experiencing with the streams. I think it's an OBS issue. Again, we're going to test as we get into Detroit here to see if like we have VRAM issues and whatnot. But the highest it's gone to is just over 10. Your Sim CFI, welcome in. Welcome on in. We're on approach into Detroit for the final flight of the morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time it is for you. We should be on the ground here. When is the ground? The ground is 56, so in about 14 minutes.
United 576, contact Detroit approach 125.15.
Contact
I should
Detroit
also
approach
try
United 576.
Streamlabs.
Have a good one.
Because Streamlabs has their own like OBS thing.
Detroit approach.
So I should try theirs out too.
576, 12,900 feet. We have November.
because Streamlabs is based on OBS. I could also just do a complete like reset of OBS. And it might be that I have two different profiles for OBS. And I don't really need to have both of them because I use we use
Runway 21 left.
when we're doing the podcast, the Pixel Realms podcast. That one I have OBS, but I have a profile set up for that one. So maybe it's the two profiles that are screwing it up. I don't know. There's so many questions. What's your wattage draw with the 5080? As of right this very second, wattage draw is 145. It topped out at 240. 140, so about 150, averaging 146 in the past 2.5 hours. And that is systems averaging about 52% of GPU load. So I'm assuming the 240 was when we first launched into the sim. That's my guess. Alright, coming up on 10,000. Altimeter is 299.7 still. Yeah, the 5080 is surprisingly, it's really low. The temps are really good. 2.5 hours with Flight Sim. The top temp is 63 Celsius, averaged 48. So that's really, really good. The one thing that had concerned me initially with this is, 12 volts. I mounted that really carefully, so it's gotten to as low as 11.82. But it's still been very stable, and no signs of any issues there. I see people drawing 4 to 425, yeah, and I don't even have a power setting. Like I was at when I first got it, I was setting the power down to 95%. But I haven't seen a need to really do that. It's still, the power draw is really, really good. Can HW Info show you power draw of the system? Let me see. I'm curious about that. Yeah, system 253 for the power limits.
Passing 10,000 feet.
CPU power 126. Isn't that bad? My 4080 is ironing my t-shirts. Alright, so let's go ahead and put down, what did they clear us? They just cleared us for descent. They didn't clear us down to an altitude. 6,000 is for the altitude. I told you all the story about when I got this 5080. I was going to do a trade-in with Micro Center. They were going to give me 6 something for it. And when I got there and they were doing the testing, they couldn't get it to show a screen, to display anything. So I was freaked out about it all. I was thinking, oh crap, did I break it on the way there? Did I short it out or something? Did they break it there? I had so many questions. I don't like this descent profile. Because it's going to like drop me down real fast. But then I got home and I tested it and it worked just fine. So I ended up selling on eBay for a good amount of money. I can't remember what the number was anymore, but a good amount of money. Which means this 5080 didn't cost me nearly as much as it could have. I think even with the warranty, it was like 5 something. So it was a really good price. And I got, what, 3 years almost out of the 4080? 170 for the heading. So we're going to swing over to the right a little bit. My 5090 is heating my house. My 4080 was really good with temps too. It'd hardly ever get over like 65 Celsius. Hardly ever. Alright, 125. Oh, P2, if you're still here, I guess I lied. The multi-flight issue is still present. It's kind of flickering with the speed indicator, and then the localizer light.
heading 170.
Thought that fixed it with the firmware update, but I guess not.
Descend and maintain 3,100 feet. United 576.
Well, it was fixed the other day. That's really weird. Really, really weird. Lex is nooped right now. Alright, did we get a descent? Yeah, 3,000. Okay, let's pay attention to that. Drop that. And at Nesby, we want to be 3,000. Perfect. 3090 has been a champ, still going strong. Well, you had a 5080, or was it 90? I can't remember now. You had one, but it was just too big for your case, right? I said I wasn't gonna get a 50 series. Well, I got his 50 series, but things worked out. I wouldn't have paid full price for it, right? The trade-in all worked out in my favor, and it worked out for what I was looking at long term, like the pricing and all that jazz. It worked out really well. I have, you know, who knows when the 60 series will ever come out, but I have zero interest in ever going for the 60 series. And as much as I'd love to go to the 5090, I have no money. I have no money for that. You know, if I win the lottery or something, yeah, but that's about the only time I would even be, it'd make it even plausible for me to consider it. They don't remind me. This isn't the 737. No. We switched over to the 319 for this flight. First flight was in the 737, the iFly 737. So we switched over to this flight simmer. All right, we're up to 9 with the VRAM.
United 576 airport is at your 1 o'clock, 15.
Airport's right there. Runway's right there. Wheel to field insight, United 576.
United 576 cleared visual approach runway 21 left.
All right, clear for the visual.
Cleared visual
Localizer
approach
is
21
armed.
United 576.
I guess we're just supposed to approach, actually. So approach is armed. LS is armed.
Speed brake armed.
Speed brake is armed. Approach checklist. It doesn't do that automatically,
Approach
huh?
checklist.
Approach briefing. We're expecting the ILS approach for runway 21 left. The minimum altitude is 200 feet. We'll use manual braking. We can expect to park at gate Bravo 67. In case of go around, we'll climb per ATC instructions on the runway heading. Any questions?
No.
No.
Completed.
Arrow reference 300.
Checked.
Passenger signs.
On.
Minimums 200.
Checked.
Auto brakes.
Set.
Over
Engine
to
mode.
Tower 118.4,
Set.
United 576.
Approach checklist completed.
All right, approach checklist completed.
Metro
Landing
Tower,
checklist.
Landing
United
checklist.
576.
Go around
Visual
altitude.
runway 21 left.
Set.
Cabin crew. Cabin crew prepare for landing.
Notified.
Decam memo. Flaps up.
Clear to land.
Runway 21 left. clear to
flaps
land.
3.
United 576.
All right, flaps 3 arrival, folks. We're cleared to land. Runway 21 left on exit. We're going to exit to the right. Typically, 21 I exit Whiskey 2. Whiskey 2, and then we're supposed to go to Bravo something for our gate. We'll just do whatever BeyondATC gives us. Bing. And flaps 2. Gear down.
Gear down.
Landing no blue.
Landing checklist completed. Cabin crew prepare for landing.
Get your butts in the seats, folks. And
Flaps 2.
flaps 3. The flaps are wrong when the callouts apparently because of because I use a hardware setting. Alright, we got a crosswind, slight crosswind. We're at 16 knots right now. Nothing terrible. Alright, we did a 1 something on the last landing. Let's see if we can do an even better landing. I'm getting a lot of red showing up though on my FPS tracker. Like I said, Detroit isn't as optimized as Chicago. Hold on to your boots. 100 call out, AP
Unstable.
off. You heard that unstable even though it was on AP? Or on the glide slope?
Visual runway 21 left.
Alright, bring up that nose a little bit. Remember with the Airbus, don't over control it. Minor moves.
Roger, Delta 2137.
Try to be ahead of where the arrows are going, or diamonds are going. And remember, it's fly-by-wire, so it's going to stick where you put it.
Runway 21 right.
Just watching that purple diamond there. You know, if I see it moving too much in one direction, I'll counteract. A little high on the approach, just like the last flight. Looking good.
Minimums.
Minimums landing.
Minimum. 100.
Minor adjustments.
Light slope.
40. 30. 20. Retard.
Hold it.
Retard.
Hold the nose up.
Retard.
Reverser's idle. Let it settle.
Manual braking.
Ooh,
Spoilers.
little bit of a bounce there. Alright, nose down, reversers out.
Decel. 70 knots.
Took a while for those reversers to come out. Alright, Whiskey 2 is what we're taking.
576, exit right at Juliet.
Yeah, it definitely came down a little harder.
Exit right at Juliet, United 576.
Alright, where do you want us to taxi, Mr. BeyondATC? Alright, landing lights are off.
7, wind 230 at 1.
Let's go up here, flaps off there.
After landing checklist. Radar PWS.
2-1 left. 2-1 left.
Delta 2137.
On behalf of our captain and crew, we would like to thank you for flying with us.
United 576, contact ground 119.25.
Radar PWS.
Ground 119.25.
Spill my drink.
United 576.
Ask one of the nice
Take care.
cabin crew guys to get you one. Metro Ground, hello from United 576. We're on Whiskey 2, looking to taxi to gate Delta 4.
Off.
United
After landing
576,
checklist
welcome
complete.
to Detroit Metro, Wayne Co. Gate Delta 4 taxi via Whiskey 2, Whiskey Papa Tree. Hold short runway 21 right.
Eric, swing over to the right.
Gate Delta for via Whiskey 2, Whiskey, Papa 3. Hold short runway 2, 1 right, United 576.
Alright, FPS is sucking here. Real bad. In the 60s and 50s, actually. Jeez Louise, what happened here? VRAM's up to 10. Kind of fluttering with the 10, so I would say still an improvement. Still an improvement from OBS, maybe. I still have to do some major testing though. Like I said, I want to do a test. I'm gonna do a couple test flights, see if this frame gen thing doesn't happen on my other monitor. As much as I'd like to stick with my OLED as my primary, if it doesn't work, doesn't work. It is life. Alright, we're going to where? Papa 3? Landing rate? I don't know where we're going to get landing rate from now. Hopefully Volanta tracked it. Well, I guess we'll also get it through First Officer. Papa 3, Hey, P2, we're on Papa 3 right now. Something's not right with the stream audio. Sounds like a cat purring. A cat purring? Alright, holding short. 1-2 right. Gotta go. See you next time. Take care. Thanks, Will, for coming in.
United 576, cross runway 21 right at Papa Tree. Continue taxi.
Cat purring.
Hold short runway 9 or left.
Well, my cat's not nearby.
Cross runway 21 right at Papa 3. Continue taxi via Mike 3.
Alright, throttle coming back.
Hold short runway 9 left. United 576.
So they're having us go over to the other terminal. Yeah, I'm trying Meld Studios. I'm testing out to see if OBS is the culprit of what's been causing me a lot of VRAM issues recently. And for this one test flight, it might be the case. Or I guess one test stream. We did 2 flights today, and the VRAM has been way under what has ever reached in with OBS. So now what I want to try next is I want to try OBS again. But I did remove some things. I might do a complete reset of OBS. I might do a reset of OBS and then do a test stream of that. Because it might just be I have too many sources going and that's causing issues.
Kilo Echo United 576.
Yeah, I was also thinking about the stream cards as well. Because that will take all the pressure off the system. We'll take some of the pressure off the system because it'll process on the capture card. Well, part of the way, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to use a second system. I really don't. I don't stream enough. I'm not a big time streamer to do that. We're going to see what happens when we disconnect what's it called? BeyondATC, and see if that improves anything. You got a 4, oh, but it couldn't get to work with your MacBook? I have an old one, but it's only 1080p. So I'd have to get a brand new one. Yeah, juice not worth the squeeze, for sure. Considering I have a top-of-the-line PC for the most part, I feel confident that it could run things just fine. It's just... Flight Sim is so unoptimized sometimes. Does sound like a cat, huh? I'll have to listen to the stream afterwards. I'm curious what you're talking about. Here's Delta 4. Landing lights, or sorry, taxi lights are off. So the VRAM is about the same, honestly. Now that we're here at this airport with all this traffic. Or with some traffic. There's not a lot of traffic, but... So I don't know. We might not have done anything. We haven't gotten any of the weird VRAM bugs. Oops. Parking brake is set. Alright, cool. It's doing its flows now.
Having problems with the APU. Would you mind checking it out?
Yes, I would mind, actually. I don't want to do that. That's your job. Toggle the jetway. External power on. Alright, so we're at 1035. Let's get rid of this. BeyondATC is going to go away. That freed up. Almost virtually nothing. Almost virtually nothing. Got the Elgato 4X or whatever it is. Didn't work with my Mac. I don't have a PCI slot available for the motherboard. Okay, so BeyondATC's off, and we turned off the engines, right? Turned off the engine, didn't we? Oh no. Yeah, we did. Doesn't matter, we're not getting this flight tracked by a pilot's F anyways. Because that was a dinkus. The purring is gone. Is the plane just too loud? Is the sim volume just too loud, I guess? Nothing's changed. There's been no cat nearby me. Alright, we're gonna see what first officer has here.
Parking checklist. Parking brake.
Set.
Engines.
Off.
Wing lights.
Off.
Fuel pumps.
Off.
Parking checklist completed.
Alright, we had a landing rate of... what? Of 10. Of 10. A landing rate of 10. No way. Alright, let's see Volanta. That can't be right. Hopefully Volanta's tracked it. Oh, it didn't. Son of a gun. Why is it George Bush? The hell? Yeah, it doesn't have the landing rate here, of course. That sucks. Alright, well, apparently we had a really good landing rate. So VRAM, I don't know. It's so hard for me to say. Part of me says, yeah, there was an improvement. Part of me says, no, there wasn't any improvement whatsoever. It's so difficult. I don't know. Maybe the engine volume is causing it. Crackling sound. Stop all the aircrafts, but there is butter spill on the runway. Well, okay, so that's going to be today's flights. 2 flights using Meld Studio. I think it was a successful test. So, my 2 biggest complaints with Meld, I'm not talking about performance of it, because I haven't been able to confirm it or deny it yet, but one is there's no like HDR filter, like there's no BS, so I really like that feature. The stream would look a lot better, the screen at least. And number 2, I can't get it to start from a live stream. From a scheduled stream. But on the plus side, I do like that it is allowing me to do multi-stream, so it's allowing me to stream over to Twitch again, which it doesn't really matter because I don't really stream to Twitch, or I don't really have a following on Twitch. Let me see. How do I look at... Here we go. So... yeah, on Twitch, we have, I think just Stream Elements that's watching. So yeah, we don't really get a following on Twitch, so I don't really care so much about that. I do like the quality on Twitch. I feel like Twitch's quality is much better compared to YouTube's, but it works. Either way, we're going to end the stream here. Thanks everyone for coming in today. A lot of fun. 2 really, really good flights. The iFly worked really well. Flight Sim First Officer worked well, other than the key binding issue, which I would love to figure out. Meld Studio did a good job. It did, with minor tweaking I'd done to it, it did a really good job, so all was fine with that. There's a potential chance of streaming Sunday morning for the Pilot's Life event that's on there in New Zealand. I think that'd be a fun stream to do. So there's a chance of that, but don't quote me on that. If I do that, I probably won't stream on Monday, I'll be honest. And then Tuesday, no stream, because that's a podcast recording day. But thanks again for coming in. And Will, you're gone now, but thank you again for the 5 gifted memberships. As always, thank everyone for the support for coming in. And we'll see you in the Discord. Have a great weekend. Take care.